Welcome to Learning Equinox. Today we shall be talking on the SEBI new margin rules issued by SEBI with effect from 1st September 2020. This video brings to you the key highlights of the new rule. The new regulations are to bring about regulations among brokers who give margins for intraday. Post the Karve case, SEBI thought of bringing in regulation and thus the new margin rules. The new margin rules will impact intraday traders, BTST, that is buy today sell tomorrow, and cash segment investors. There are three key changes which we must make note of. The first one, intraday sale proceeds cannot be used for taking new position. Second, higher margins will be required for buying the shares now. And third, you need to bring in upfront margin even for selling the shares that you hold. Before we begin, let us understand what is margin and what is leverage, how it works, and its relation to the exchange houses like NSDL and CDSL. So let us understand this entire system of share trading with margins. In share trading, you reach out to the exchange houses like NSDL and CSDL through a broker. A broker is always a mediator between you and the exchange houses. The NSDL and CSDL are exchange houses where your actual shares are kept in demat format, and this happens through a platform provided through the broker. Brokers charge brokerage. Now, brokerage is a competitive industry. New brokers give good margins of leverage to attract more and more customers, so you can trade on their platform without upfront putting in your money. Now, why does a broker do this? Why does he give you a leverage? This is because the broker does so to facilitate more and more clients to trade so that people will come in and buy more and more shares so that he makes good brokerage. So that's how the brokerage industry works. Margins, on the other hand, are the money that you put in as a trade upfront for trading in your shares. So leverage is something that the broker offers, whereas margin is the portion of the money that you put in. If we look at an example, let's say if a share is for 1000 rupees, let's say the broker is offering a leverage of 90%, which means the margin is 10%. Before we move further, let us also understand that margins for shares are set by exchange houses like CDSL and NSDL, basis the volatility and the movement of a particular stock. A broker is liable to pay the margin to the exchange houses basis the margin set by them, irrespective of what he is taking from the customer. So let's say for a particular share, the broker is offering you leverage of 90%. That means 10% margin is the only money that he is taking from you. It could be that NSDL or CSDL has set up a margin of 20% on that. So any which ways, the broker does have to shell out the 20% for that particular share, whether he's taking 10% from you or 20 or whatever percentage from the customer. So irrespective of that, the broker has to pay to the exchange house what is the margin set by the exchange house. How it does, we'll look at a little further. Let us take an example. If a share is priced as rupees 1000 and NSDL sets a margin at 20%, so let's say it means 200. Broker is liable to pay to NSDL rupees 200 irrespective of whether he offers 10% or 1% to its customers. Now let's take two brokers, broker A and broker B. A broker A offers 90% leverage to its customers, which means the customer has to bring in only 10%. So here, for the same 1000 rupees share, customer can put in only 100 rupees and buy the 1000 rupees share. Same scenario, broker B is offering you 80% leverage. So the customer needs to bring in 20% margin. So now he puts in 200 rupees to buy the 1000 rupees share. Now, if you look at these two situations of broker A and broker B, an intraday trader would prefer to go to broker A because the leverage offered is high. Thus, this way to attract traders, brokers offer good leverage, thereby making brokerage. Now, what does the broker A do? It has customers of all types, not only those who take leverage, but those who do not take this leverage also. So, some will pay the full 1000 rupees for buying the share, while some will take the margin facility and pay only 100 rupees. All of this money, whether it is 1000 or 100, all of this money lies in one pool account of the broker. That means if he has one person taking advantage of the leverage, pays 100 rupees for one share, and there's another person who is not taking leverage and paying the 1000 rupees for the same share. So in 1100 is lying in the same pool account of the broker. Now, broker is liable to pay to NSDL and CSDL exchange houses the margin set by them, which is, let's say, 20% for this particular example, which means for 2 shares there he has to pay 400 rupees, which he can easily pay out of 1100 that he has. This way, the broker is not out of funds while making the payment to the exchange houses. Now, what is the benefit for the broker? By doing this, he is attracting more customers. So earlier, if he was not offering leverage, in this example, he would have one customer. Now he's offering leverage, so he has 2. So he earns more brokerage by selling more shares. Now that you've understood the concept of margin and leverage, and you're clear of how this entire system operates at the broker level, let us also now understand what was SEBI's objective to make these changes and why they wanted to curb this practice. This is because of the element of risk involved at the broker level. Let's say if a 1000 rupee share goes up to 1100, then there is no problem. But what if it falls up to 800? The loss involved is of 200 rupees. Now if we take the example of the customer who has taken leverage from broker A, the customer has lost 100 rupees while broker also has lost 100 rupees in this example if the price falls to 800 rupees. Now a broker, if dealing with multiple such clients, this is just one example. Brokers deal with multiple such clients day in and day out, which piles up to huge losses multiple times of this 100 rupees in this example, which can run into lakhs and crores of rupees, and the broker might even go bankrupt. This is exactly what happened in Karve's case, where they were not able to pay off the shares purchased in the market and had to close down. Also remember here, there are traders who have not taken the benefit of leverage but paid the full amount to buy the shares. This fund is also parked in the broker's same account where the customer who has taken leverage funds were parked. So there is just one pool account. Customers here who also did not take the benefit of leverage, that means paid the full amount, also did not get their money since the pool account of the broker was the same, which went bankrupt. So that entire money is lost. So SEBI as a regulator comes into picture and came up with these new margin rules. So now let us look at what these changes are. The first one, if you have to purchase any share, you need to give minimum 20% margin, or that what is set up by the exchange and not as per the broker. So now brokers will no longer have a role in identifying the minimum margin. So from now onwards, if the exchange has set a margin higher than 20%, then you need to give that higher margin. However, the minimum is 20%. Brokers, however, can no longer decide on the margins. Further, the broker cannot give more leverage also. The maximum leverage a broker can now give is only 5 times. Another significant change is on the pledge of shares. In the past, there were 2 ways of paying your broker. One was direct cash to the broker pool account. Another way was by pledging shares to the broker to avail the margin. The broker used to use the power of attorney, that is POA, to transfer the client shares into a separate margin account for allocating trading limits. Now, since the broker held the POA with him, further client permission was not required to transfer the shares for the margin. This process has been eliminated now. Now, going forward, the shares will be pledged directly with the stock exchanges through the clearing corporation. Clearing corporation is like a body set up by these exchange houses. So, directly you will be dealing with the exchange houses in case of pledging of shares. Brokers' role in pledging of shares will no longer be involved. This will eliminate the broker bankruptcy affecting all its customers. So, to that extent, it is safe. The next part is about the settlement cycle. Now, a settlement for your shares takes T plus 2 days. What used to happen in the current scenario? Let us understand this. You purchase shares on T day, that is, let's say today. The broker sends a request to the clearing house and grants credit into your ledger. However, the clearing house settlement process takes T plus 2 days. And the actual demat credit that happens, that means the actual shares that come into your account, happens only in T plus 2 days. Now, since it is visible on the next day in your ledger, that is your ledger account with the broker, so on T plus 1 day, you could see the share in your account and could sell it. This is the buy today, sell tomorrow scenario. However, the shares are not physically yet available in your account to sell it. That is available only after T plus 2 days. SEBI has modified this rule to ensure that you can sell only if the actual credit is available in your account, which means only after T plus 2 days. Even if it is visible in the broker ledger, you cannot trade on it since it is not yet available in your Demat account by the settlement house. This brings us to the next change. Intraday sale proceeds cannot be used for taking new position. By now it's very clear. See, in case of intraday, you buy and sell on the same day. Let's say you put in 10,000 rupees and make a profit of 2,000 rupees. So you receive 12,000 as your sales proceed, of which 10,000 is your capital. However, the settlement of this 12,000 that will happen, now it's going to happen directly with the exchange houses and not with the broker, which means that the sale will account on T plus 2 days. And therefore, you cannot make use of the sale proceed to take new position until settlement is complete. The next important point which is affecting a lot of people in trading is upfront margins required even for selling the shares that you hold. By now you've understood that there is you and the broker and there is an exchange house, how the settlement process flows, and it takes a time frame of T plus 2 days. All communications flow via the broker. Now, if you're short selling or taking any position, or even if you're actually buying or selling shares, the exchange house will only come to know at the end of T plus 2 days, right? Earlier, the information used to flow from the broker as a mediator for settlement. But now, since the settlement cycle, broker has no role to play. Only the exchange house will come to know after T plus 2 days whether it is actually lying in your account or not. And thus, they do not know whether you're doing a short selling or you're actually holding the shares which you're selling. Because they can see the account only in T plus 2 days. They can only exercise the settlement process in T plus 2 days. Thus, even if you are selling your shares, there has to be an upfront margin. Our objective was only to bring to light the key changes by SEBI and explain it in a simple form so that it is beneficial to all. With this, we come to the end of this video. We thought of bringing this explanation of a few key changes since it was recently released by SEBI and has a large impact on traders, especially those doing intraday trading. Hope you found this informative. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more. Thank you.